Hey everybody, so now we're going to start what I think is the hardest unit um, in college algebra. It's about polynomials and rational functions. And so knowing that, just keep in mind like your ultimate goal, right? So your ultimate goal is to pass college algebra, your ultimate goal is to learn the concepts. Um, so try not to get frustrated and bogged down on um, the negative thoughts that like might come in your brain. All right, so this section is on uh, synthetic division. So we've been working with different kind of functions, quadratic, cubic, quartic, linear. And so a polynomial function is basically any function that's got, there we go, that's got more than two terms, and that the degree right here is a positive integer. So it can't be a fraction right there, and it can't be a negative. And so just a reminder that the degree is the highest exponent. Okay, so the degree is the highest exponent, and the degree on this guy is 5, and then over here the degree is 6. All right, so we've talked about domain and range, zeros, how zeros mean the same thing as roots, mean the same thing as x-intercepts. That kind of got cut off. Which is the same thing as to solve or to find the solution. We've done the y-intercepts and a few other characteristics. So let's talk about real quick. Remember when you were like in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and you did long division, and you were like, hey, what is, I don't know, 510 divided by 6? Okay. And then you had to divide it out. So 6 times 8, 6 times 9, so 6 times 8, 48, 3, 0. Well, that turned out real nice. Smarter than I think I am. Okay. And so you can take polynomials and you can divide one polynomial by another polynomial. It's pretty long and super fun. All right, but if that guy is in a certain form, then we can use what's called synthetic division. So one of the things we need to make sure for synthetic division to work, so we don't have to go through all of this, is the last number is just going to either be plus or minus something. So 1/2, 2, 5, -9, it doesn't matter. And then right here, it has to be a linear thing. So just plain x. Can't be x squared, can't be 4x. It's just got to be a plain x. All right, so looks like a lot of steps. I tried to write the steps in like normal people talk. And so if you wanted to pause the video real quick and write the steps down, then I'm going to, and they probably don't make any sense right now, then I'm going to go through the steps as I do problems. Okay, this is pretty much it should say negative c. This is like the shell, I guess, and you're going to draw like this line thing. And so you'll solve the factor or the quotient, you'll change the sign, basically, and so that's your negative c. You'll write that down right here, right outside. And you'll write the coefficients. We can't skip any steps, which is, do add, multiply, and multiply. And then we're going to write, we'll get some stuff right here, and we'll write the resulting polynomial from that. And we're going to learn that if the remainder, which is going to be this very last number right here, if that's 0, then what we have right here is a 0 See the two things? If the remainder is 0, that's called a 0, an x-intercept of root. If it's not 0, then it's not a 0. It's not a solution, not an x-intercept. All right, let's do some because it's not going to mean anything. Okay, so here we are on that problem. Now, that problem is this same problem right here. Okay, and if I worked it out, it would take us 10 minutes or so. Probably longer while I explained it as I did it. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy, x minus 2 equals 0. Just solve it. That was our first step. And so I'm going to add 2 to both sides and get x equals 2. And so I'm going to write 2 right here. Actually, I'm going to change my color. Okay. Then I'm going to write my coefficients. So that's 4. The coefficient of x to the 4 is 2. The coefficient of x cubed is -1. The coefficient of x squared is -7. The coefficient of x is -3. And then we have 10. Make sure it doesn't skip any steps. So it goes 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. Nothing skips. All right, then our next step, so let's put our steps real quick. Solve it, got it, wrote it down, got it, write the coefficients, got it. And so now we're going to add and multiply. So there's a 0 right here, an invisible 0. So 2 plus 9. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Then we're going to add -1 plus 4, 3, multiply. 2 times 3, 6, add. -7 plus 6, -1, multiply. 2 times -1, -2, add. -3, -2 is -5, multiply. 2, -5, -10, add. 10 plus -10 is 0. All right, then, so add, multiply, keep going. And now we're going to write the resulting polynomial. All right, this was x to the 4th, so we're going to go down 1. So this is going to be 2x cubed. So instead of x to the 4th, I'm going to write x cubed plus, since that's a positive 3, x squared. We're not going to skip any steps, any exponent steps. We're going to go in descending order. Minus sign because of that. 1x. If you wanted to leave it and just write minus x, that's totally fine. Then we have minus 5, and there's no remainder. So this is the remaining polynomial. Okay, and then just FYI, the remainder is 0. So therefore, x minus 2 and x plus 2 is the 0. And that means x minus 2 is a factor. I'm going to do my checks back to the left-handed. So, okay, just F. We'll get back to more of why this in a minute. Well, in another video. All right, so we had 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 1x minus 5. Look at, okay, so 2, 3, -1, -5. 2, 3, -1, -5. So it's just a little quicker way to do division. Let's do another one. All right, x plus 3 equals 0. So we're going to subtract 3 on both sides. And so we get x equals -3. So I'm going to put -3, and then I'm going to put my coefficients. So my coefficient of x squared right there is an invisible 1. My coefficient of x right there is 10. And I have 21. And so then my next step was add, multiply, add, multiply. 1 plus 0 is 1, multiply. -3 times 1 is -3. Add. 10 plus -3 is 7. -3 plus 7 is -21. Add. 21 plus 21 is 0. Now we're going to write the resulting polynomial. X squared, so this is plain x. X plus 7. So this is my answer. And just so you know, because that's 0, that is a factor, and x minus 3 is 0. And FYI, if we did x plus 3 from right here, and times x plus 7 from right here, watch what happens. X is x is x squared. X times 7 is x. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 7 is 21. So I get x squared plus 10x plus 21. So, just so you know, x squared plus 10x plus 21 is the same as x plus 3 times x plus 7. So, it's another way to solve to factor, okay? And so this is just a little quadratic, but what we're going to do with these polynomials that are crazy, like this guy, that are so much harder to factor. And so you use synthetic division to get different factors. And so eventually we're going to learn, like this guy, how we keep going and to break it into all the little tiny factors like him. Whoop. Okay, let's do him. So x plus 2 equals 0. We're going to subtract 2 on both sides, and so I get x equals -2. So I'm going to do -2, and then 5. So it goes x3, but there's no x squared, so I need to put a 0. So it goes 3, 2, 1, blast off. So this is x cubed, x squared, plain x, and then the constant. You have to put a placeholder if there's a missing step. And then the same things. So 5 plus 0 is 5. 2 times 5, -2 times 5 is -10. 0 plus -10 is -10. 2 times -10, positive 20, 26. 2 times -2 times 26 is -52. -52 plus 8, -44. Okay, so this time we have a remainder. So first let's write our polynomial. So instead of x cubed, which is that one, we're going to go down one. So it'll be 5x squared minus 10x plus 26. And then we have a remainder. So it'll be minus 44 over whatever we divided by, x plus 2. And since the remainder was not 0, just so you know, x plus 2 is not a factor, and that means that x equals -2 is not a 0 solution, an x-intercept. All right, but this is our answer when we divide that out. All right, so in the next video, I'm going to do a couple more problems so we can continue to practice.